Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of the Municipal Council to order at 7:01. Please join me for a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I entertain a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? I would now like to take a roll call vote. Please, when the clerk calls your name, please respond with here or present. Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Mr. Kobus.
Present.
Ms. Foa.
Here.
Mr. Lavoy.
Present.
Ms. Reynolds.
Here.
Vice President Dolan.
Here.
Ms. Holmes.
Present.
Mr. Angelo.
Present.
Ms. Sawyer.
Here.
Mr. Waterman.
Present.
Mr. Tavares.
Here.
President Delicio.
Present.
All members present.
Thank you. I would now entertain a motion to approve the records of June 3rd and June 17th.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Madam Clerk, would you please go to the reading of the first public hearing?
Certainly. Public hearing regarding the following ordinance committee. A proposed petition to the general court to enact the following legislation providing for the establishment of a board to oversee and use and occupancy payments for manufactured housing community accommodations in the city of Attleboro, Massachusetts, within the powers and duties set forth below, provided that the legislature may reasonably vary the form and substance of the requested legislation within the scope of the general public objectives of the petition.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to speak in favor? Do we have anyone to speak in favor? If so, please. Is everyone planning on speaking, or do we just want to raise a hand and we'll catch? Okay, so if you're going to speak, please approach the podium.
Can I ask a favor? We're all seniors and we're hard of hearing. Can you talk a little louder, please?
That's the first time anyone's asked me to do that, because I usually have the volume.
That's funny.
All right, so if we have anyone to speak in favor, please approach the podium and give us your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. Walter Thibodeau, 8 Liberty Drive, Liberty Estates, South Attleboro.
Good. Counselor, good to see you.
Good to see you. Hello to my colleagues, former colleagues. I'm speaking in favor of the motion that's before you to send to the General Counsel, I believe. Hopefully, it'll pass when it reaches there. We've been trying to get something done at that level for more than 4 years and have yet to have anything passed as far as I know, although I'm not in the connected loop anymore, which you guys know about. Anyway, the biggest problem that we have, not so much in dealing with the owners of a manufactured home park, because it's a real, most of them in Attleboro are designated as either 55 and above or 62 and above. So it's a real good place for where you can sell your house. In my case, where I was injured, I lost my house, and a manufactured home was our only option once I was able to get the compensation that I was supposed to be getting, both from workman's comp and Social Security disability. However, what's been happening recently, which, as you know, usually starts at the western part of the country and works its way east, is that corporations have come in and been buying up manufactured home parks or establishments, in my case, and it's in a state. And it's truly taking the laws of the Attorney General's manufactured homes, which has always previously stated that as a tenant, you have the first right to purchase. However, that doesn't stand anymore when, and some of the folks from Sandcastle who are going to come up and talk to you, or at least one of them will, I believe, and a couple of other parks in Attleboro, which we have approximately 7 parks within the Attleboro city limits. corporations come in and they outbid the tenants who live there, which is, that's fair play. However, when they get in, when they have outbid the tenants from being able to afford to purchase the land that we have leased, in my case, it's for more than 20 years, we don't have much recourse about the kind of rules they put in place or to get their investment, a return on their investment from what improvements they have made while they have been keeping it. And unfortunately, they keep it for a shorter amount of time than a family-run business would, because they're in the business of flipping it and making money for their people. And they have basically unlimited funds, where most of us who live within the city limits in this kind of a housing situation, we're limited by what we get from Social Security or other pensions. And we don't have the same kind of options to be able to go up against the corporation, which basically has unlimited funds. So that's why I'm speaking in favor, asking the City Council to move this forward and send it up to the state so that we'll have more of an equal playing field as far as what can be done as owners of a park and what can be done as owners or residents of a park. And the petition that you have reviewed and are having a public hearing for tonight seems to take all of those things into consideration. And I believe it would be a plus. Well, many of the people who reach a certain age and wish to continue to live in Attleboro, however, can't afford to do it because they can't find cheaper housing and still own it, which is a big thing. And that's about it.
All right.
If anyone have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right, if anyone has any questions for Mr. Thibodeau? Okay. Walter, thank you very much.
All right,
Nice
thank
to see
you,
you as
guys.
always.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else speak in favor?
Good evening, Kelly Lee, 25 South Main Street. I'm here in my capacity as the Council on Aging Director on behalf of Mayor DeSimone, who was unable to be here in person this evening. And I'm going to read from her remarks, if I may. Greetings, Municipal Council and residents. I apologize that I am not able to appear in person as I have a prior commitment. Protecting our manufactured home park residents has been an important matter to me for a number of years. I not only value mobile homes as affordable and environmentally friendly housing options, I also have several family members who live in mobile homes in Rhode Island. In early 2020, the Municipal Council unanimously approved a home rule petition asking the state legislature for permission to create a mobile home park rent control board. I and several current members of the council participated in that vote. The petition was supported by former Mayor Paul Heroux and many Attleboro mobile home park residents, many of which are here this evening, and they spoke in support of the petition. Unfortunately, the petition languished at the legislature and expired. During this time, our housing crisis has worsened and rents at manufactured housing communities across the state have risen significantly. In Massachusetts and across the country, institutional investors seeking easy revenue opportunities continue to buy up manufactured home parks and raising land rents, forcing many senior and low-income residents out of their homes. Older adults currently make up 15.4% of the Massachusetts population, and this age group is expected to increase to 21% by the year 2030. Manufactured housing offers sustainable and affordable housing options for these seniors as well as others. Attleboro is a vibrant and dynamic community that includes a growing senior population. We have 8 manufactured home parks with approximately 800 homes. Most of these manufactured homes are occupied by seniors and low-income persons and families living on fixed incomes. For these reasons and more, it is imperative that we not forget our manufactured home park residents, and the time has come to make another attempt at establishing a mobile home park rent control board. If established, This board will help ensure fairness and provide a defined metric by which to evaluate rent increases for manufactured home residents. Moreover, having a mobile home park rent control board may serve to deter real estate investment firms and other private entities from purchasing our parks as a way of making money on the backs of our senior and low-income residents. Understanding that Representative Hawkins has refiled a statewide bill to allow for the regulation of rent increases in manufactured housing communities across the Commonwealth, it bears repeating that 5 years have passed since the city's home rule petition with no meaningful outcome. Mr. Hawkins and his staff are aware of and in general support of the renewed home rule petition. In fact, the current petition contains language directly from Mr. Hawkins' statewide bill. Our manufactured home parks and residents are an important part of the Attleboro community and a necessary source of housing options for current and future residents. Although we cannot guarantee the outcome because of their unique situation and the vulnerability that results from the immovability of their homes, it is important that we continue to support our manufactured home park residents in the city and to protect them from unreasonable rent increases imposed upon them by large real estate investment companies. Sincerely, Kathleen DeSimone, Mayor. And just to add, if I may, a couple of remarks, just in my role as Director of the COA, and what we're seeing on a daily basis is invariably there's not a day that goes by where we have older adults that are coming in and they are at risk for eviction, or they simply can't afford to remain in their own homes. And they're making choices between staying in housing, purchasing medications that really maintain their health, and actual purchases of food. Today, we had the farmers market coupons distribution that was cut in half from last year to this year, $50 to $25. Older adults are not, their incomes are not increasing, and it is the fastest growing segment of the homeless population, not in our state, not only in our state, but nationwide. They deserve better. And we respectfully request that you give strong consideration to approving this board and pushing it through to the legislature for the sake of Attleboro's older adults.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions? Kelly, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else to speak in favor?
Me,
Come on up to the podium, my friend.
Hello. I'm Linda Cobb from Sandcastle. I live at 10 Drawbridge Lane, and my voice may crack on me because I don't really make a good public speaker. The reason I'm here is to tell you I've lived in Sandcastle for 11 years. When I moved in 2014, the monthly fee at that point in time was $461 a month. It is now currently $760 a month. That's a $300 increase since I've been there. The basis of my income is my Social Security from my husband. I just want you people to be aware that with the previous owner, we were doing whatever the consumer price index was every year, and that would be how much our fee would be going up every month, which was like 2 to 2.5% per year. In our new contract with Legacy, we are stuck with 5% increase every single year. Now, again, the bulk of us living there live on Social Security. In 10 years from now, I mean, where am I going to come up with another $300 to $500 a month? We all know that my Social Security will not be going up that much. Thank you very much. Any questions?
You guys are making my job easy tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I think you did just fine public speaking. Thank you. Do we have anyone else to speak in favor? Good evening.
Hello, everybody. My name is Catherine Slowey, and I live at Sandcastle. I really think that having a rent control board would really be a great idea because it will eliminate the constant upheaval of increases that we really, it's just out of our control. And I think it would be very beneficial to have people that know what they're doing on the board, so that that's like a different aspect, to have people who are trained and, a variety of people to have, like the pay and versus, just a different, angles that need to be viewed. And I think it's really important. I would really appreciate your support in voting for this.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else who wishes to speak in favor? Can we just get a show of hands of those who are in favor? And Madam Clerk, do you mind just doing a quick count for us?
Twenty-two.
23, one just went up. So 23, thank you. Do we have anyone to speak against? Anyone to speak against? Anyone to speak neither for nor against? Neither for nor against. Okay, very good, seeing none. Let's see, Councilor Tavares, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
I do not.
Okay, I declare this public hearing closed.
President Delicio, what was the count? Just
23 in favor.
23, thank you.
Thank you. So that public hearing is now closed. It will come out of committee in the upcoming weeks. So thank you all for coming down this evening. We will now go into a reading of the second public hearing this evening.
Certainly.
Thank you for having us. Thank you. Thank you.
Public hearing regarding an Attleboro building permit fee waiver application from Union Theater Plaza LLC and Illuminate Creative and Theatrical Arts Company, 68 Union Street.
Actually, you know what? Folks, I'm sorry, we still have other business to conduct. If we could just, your voices are carrying over. Thank you all.
Thank you for having us again.
You call the union?
We did. Do we have anyone speak in favor?
Yes. My name is Jack Jacoby. I'm an attorney with offices at 144 Bank Street. I'm also a resident of the city at 15 Prince Street, and I am representing the applicant tonight on this petition. Can we get our PowerPoint up?
Todd, are we able to? Thanks, sir.
Jan Keating is with me from Illuminate.
I live at 2 Benefit Street in Attleboro, and I've been a resident of Attleboro for about 25 years.
Okay, thank you for joining.
I've been a resident of Attleboro since 1978, I think.
Well, thank you for staying.
In any event, we have undertaken what I consider to be an exciting project, which is trying to get the Union Theater reopened. And if we can advance one more. So Union Theater, for a long time, was a credit to the city and a great place to go. I remember going to the movies there, and I remember that every time there was a political campaign, people running for office were shaking hands of everyone who came out of the theater that night. But the theater has been closed for 25 years, and it's deteriorated as any closed building would. And so this really great group of people, a lot of them are here in the audience, are working to try and get this theater back open. My contribution is that I'm giving my legal services pro bono, so I'm not charging them anything. What we have done is that we have applied for a number of grants and have received grants, a couple of them already, and the money that we need for Act 1, which is to get the Union Theater reopened, has ballooned over the course of the last year. So we know that in order to reopen the theater, we need to get all the things done, including roof work, stage rehabilitation, bathroom rehabilitation, compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. And we believe that if we can get this open, that this will be a good economic generator for the city. I think that the economic benefits, actually, if you can go back one slide, there was an Attleboro Downtown Action Strategy which talked about things like this. And I think a lot of what we have been doing in the city is trying to get more people living downtown, apartments, and on the idea that those people will then patronize local merchants. But we also think that having an attraction like this right downtown would be important for generating the types of activities that those people will want to go to, and then they will go to the restaurant, or people will come to Attleboro from outside, go to a restaurant or spend money in Attleboro. We believe that this will be a cultural asset, and it will increase the economic health of the city and the cultural health of the city. So what we have done is that we have entered into a lease with the Friedmans who own the property.
That's what it will look like.
Yeah, that's what it'll look like. So Illuminate has entered into a 10-year lease with 2 5-year options. And basically what the Friedmans have done very generously is to suggest to us that if we raise the money and renovate the theater, that's the rent over the course of time. So all we have to do is help them with the taxes and insurance on a yearly basis. So our original budget was $822, but unfortunately the cost of everything has risen. The equipment has risen, the labor has risen. Our budget is now about $1.5 million. We have raised about $800,000 towards that goal. We are prepared to invest that money in the building right now. We are required to end up by the first of the year with having spent the grants that we have so far. And we are actively raising the rest of the money. We're applying for every grant there is. We're applying to the foundations. We're running events. I understand that if you buy a bottle of wine at City Spirits, you can, the profits are going to this. Attleboro Still Rocks raised some money over the weekend. There are a number of events planned. But obviously we're short. We need additional funds. And the building permits, it's $12,000 for the base permit, $455 for electrical, $150 for plumbing, and $4,050 for mechanical. That's a little over $16,000. And we could pay for that out of the grants, but then that's going to reduce what we can put into the building. And so we thought that coming here and asking the city to help us was a good idea. We hope you agree with that. We are we've applied for the building permit. We have an architect on board, Scott Winkler, and he's a local architect. And so this will be what's called controlled construction. I think Mr. McDonough might be here somewhere in the audience. I saw him.
Behind you.
There he is. And so I think he could tell you that the burden on the building department is somewhat less when there's an architect involved in controlled construction, but I don't want to speak for him. So what I am going to say to you is that we'd like a show of hands of everybody who's here in support, if we could. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 of us, I think, if I counted right. And so we are asking you as a city council to help us by waiving the building permit fees so we can put that into the building. And you agree with us. We are a little bit time pressured because we do need to get the work done by the first of the year, but we are really looking forward to getting this building reopened about a year from now and starting to generate plays, concerts, all sorts of events that can occur in the Union Theater space that will be of benefit to the city. So we thank you for your time tonight and are ready to answer any questions you may have.
Does anyone have any questions? Mr. Angelo?
Thank you, President Lucio. Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Jennifer. You guys are doing some great work, and I really appreciate it. Jennifer, can you speak on kind of like the groups that might come into town and what you might be able to attract that might patronize the other, businesses and stuff in Attleboro?
Yeah, I've been really surprised to find out that there are a lot of organizations in Attleboro, like Illuminate, who do not have a regular performance space. Illuminate's been around for 13 years. I used to work on Broadway, and so our productions are pretty massive. We have to do our shows down in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, at Tolman High School, because there isn't a space here for us. And the same goes for, Grace Baptist Christian Academy. They hold their graduations at the Orpheum Theater in Foxborough. School of Rock needs a venue. They also perform in Pawtucket. The Dance Factory uses Tolman High School in Pawtucket. So the list goes on and on. So yes, the space would be for the community, for movies, for comedy, you name it, the variety shows. People have a lot of ideas for variety shows, which is great. But we can fill the space when it opens simply with the organizations that need the space, which right away they bring their own audience. Illuminate, we've got about 500 people that'll come to one of our performances per night. And you imagine that at the Union Theater spilling out into the streets of Attleboro. Right now we're in Pawtucket and they have nowhere to go after a show. So that's just us. So then you think about School of Rock, you think about these other organizations and groups. They're just, Roundabout Theater Company has also approached us. Triborough Youth Theater, they're also in a school right now. So it would get used a lot right off the bat. We could fill out a schedule now. We just have to get those doors open. And HVAC is a whole thing. We have found out.
Mr. Tavares?
What's the capacity of the theater?
So, originally, I've learned all the history, it was 1,000 seats with the balcony, but when they added the 3 theaters, we lost that balcony section. It's looking like it'll be about 600 or 700 on the bottom floor, which is typically okay for smaller groups. And because phase 1 is just for the bottom floor alone, there's still room to dream and imagine for phase 2. Some people, right now the plan is for like a black box theater up in the balcony, classroom space. We're thinking that the building could be used during the day for workshops and conferences, because if it's only nights and weekends, it's not generating as much income as it could. So there's a lot of different proposals for phase 2 in the upstairs, and it could include making it available to have 1,000 seats if we do have an act that comes through that needs 1,000 seats. Wouldn't that be amazing?
And the second act is to raise another $2 to $3 million to complete the renovations. And we know we have a lot of work to do, but we believe that if we can get the place open, the momentum will build. And we're asking you to help us with that momentum.
Yeah, once the doors are open, we can have every event in there is raising money for the next thing.
Mr. Waterman?
Couple things. I might have been one of the last people to use it, but, well, not just me personally, but the group that I was in Attleboro. Norton Singers used to use it
Are they
for
still
certain
around?
things in the 90s.
Yeah.
But what about parking?
So our lease has the parking lot that's between the theater and Gigi's restaurant. We are allowed to use that full parking lot after 5:30 p.m.
Wonderful.
And that's built into the lease that we arranged. And let me just add one other little thing. We used Illuminate to begin with because to apply for the grants, we had to have a 501c3 organization. We have actually formed a new corporation called Attleboro Performing Arts Center, Inc.
You heard it first. There's a formal announcement coming.
And that entity, we are filling out the 501c3 application, which is long and detailed, and we're going to get that to the IRS as soon as we can. And then once that entity has its 501c3, we're going to assign the lease from Illuminate to that entity, and that will be the overall entity, and Illuminate will be one of the prime tenants. But just wanted you to know that we are looking at that.
And if I could fill the
Yeah.
picture out for you, are you guys familiar with the Hanover Theater in Worcester? They operate this same way. They took over an old showcase theater in Worcester, and it's actually run by the Worcester Performing Arts Center, and nobody really knows about that. And the Worcester Performing Arts Center is the umbrella company with the Hanover Conservatory as one wing, and then the Hanover Theater as the other. So looking into the future, what's building right now is that possibility for Attleboro Performing Arts Center with an education wing and the performance wing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Vice President Dolan.
Thank you. So for the income, when you get this, the phase one complete and you have income coming in, have you settled on like a certain percentage that's going to go towards phase two? As far as raising money for that?
So let me say that we do have some monthly expenses for the rent because we have to pay a portion of the real estate taxes and a portion of the insurance. So it'll first go to that. But whatever's left over, that's what we intend to plow back into the theater.
I've been working closely with the folks over at the Marilyn Rodman Orpheum Theater, and as well as the people at the Hanover Theater, because I know I have friends in both places, and just kind of asking them what models they use. And what I've found out is that they kind of approach every group differently. So for a nonprofit, they'll charge this much, and they'll, the nonprofit gets the proceeds from the merch. For another organization, it's a different situation. It's so they're working with me to help me understand how. And then how I can help Attleboro Performing Arts Center to govern this structure so that the money is being raised.
Simply stated, we're going to charge more to profit-making organizations than nonprofit ones.
Any additional questions? All right, seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council Fo, did you have a question?
I did, a brief one, if I may. My question is, how much money do you have to spend by the end of the year?
About $700,000.
Yeah, I think it's 639,000. Those are the two grants that ask that the money is spent. But working with Bristol Remodeling, they have said it looks like we'll be able to order the parts, because that's pretty much the cost of the HVAC right there. So we'll get all that ordered, satisfy the needs of the grant, and continue to raise money to open the doors.
I understand there's up to a 20-week lead time on the HVAC equipment, and it's $400,000 all by itself. And then we have to strengthen the roof in order to put the equipment up there and stop the roof from leaking, which are two very important factors that occupy a lot of it. But yes, we are probably going to be spending close to $700,000 by the first of the year.
Okay. Councilor Lavoy.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out. Is there a plan in place to utilize Attleboro-owned businesses for the construction and the rehab efforts to be made?
I believe we are.
I'm not sure that I heard your question.
So like a roofer, you use a local Attleboro roofer, a plumber, an Attleboro-based
So
plumber.
we have a general contractor, Tim Travers.
Yeah, Bristol Remodeling.
Bristol Remodeling. And we will certainly encourage him to use local subcontractors.
Mm-hmm.
He is from Attleboro, yeah.
He's from Attleboro.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else to speak in favor? Anyone to speak in favor? Anyone to speak against? Anyone to speak against? Anyone to speak neither for nor against? Okay, seeing none. Council Cobus, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
I do not.
I declare that public hearing closed. And Madam Clerk, will you go on to a reading of the third public hearing, please?
Public hearing regarding the proposed implementation of employment contracts for Police Chief Kyle Hegney and Fire Chief Scott LaChance with amendments to the following ordinances: Section 6-1.1, 15-1.1, 13-3.1, 13-4.1, and 13-6 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to speak in favor?
Good evening, Lynn Davins, HR Director for the city. So I think, as you all know, we implemented the classification and compensation plan in January of this year. Prior to that, we did a study. And I think what we found throughout that period of time is that the police and fire chiefs really didn't kind of fit into that mold. They do a very different job than many of us do, and we're blessed to have some wonderful chiefs. So we decided that the best way to handle them would be to put them on employment contracts, which we successfully did. However, with that came some changes to the ordinances. And people who have been on, the members who have been on the council for some time will recall that there's been other changes along the way. So if the union contract changes, usually that the police and fire chiefs get that. So the ordinance were continually changing. So we felt that the employment contracts was a better way to serve our chiefs. They were both in agreement. And so therefore we have some additional changes to the ordinances to kind of effectuate those contracts and take them out of that.
Do we have any questions? Okay, seeing none. Lynn, thank you, and it's always nice to see you.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else to speak in favor? Do we have anyone to speak against? Do we have anyone to speak neither for nor against? Seeing none, Councilor Holmes, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
Sorry.
Councilor Holmes, can you hear us?
Yes, I do now.
All right, thank you. I declare that public hearing closed. Madam Clerk, can we go on to a reading of the fourth public hearing this evening, please?
I'd be happy to. Public hearing to discuss the matters of compensation of inspectors, permits, and revenues with associated changes to the Protective Inspection Services Fund, effecting sections 3-4, 3-7, and 20-3.2 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to speak in favor?
Good evening. Bill McDonough, Building Inspector. How's everybody tonight? Stemming a little bit off of what Lynn just said, we have an ordinance change that we're proposing, an amendment, because we have found in the last few years there's an awful lot of construction going on here in the city. There's some permit fees that are rather large. Our compensation for our plumbing, gas, and electrical inspectors, they get paid by a percentage of the fees that are collected. So you get a large fee that comes in. Sometimes it's a little disproportionate to what compensation would be more apt to be. We've tracked it for the last couple of years, and we found that if we kept the percentage the same but capped the larger fees to a $5,000 limit, then we would come into more fairness to both parties. Talked with the inspectors as well about it. Everybody's on board, they understand, and it's from the administration as well. So that's the ordinance changes. That's basically what it says, and also there's an ordinance change in there for the alternate inspectors to get paid $40 an inspection instead of $25, which is about 20 years overdue.
Okay. Do we have any questions for Mr. McDonough? Seeing none, Bill, thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else to speak in favor? Do we have anyone to speak against? Do we have anyone to speak neither for nor against? Seeing none, Council Cobus, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
I do not.
I declare that public hearing closed. And Madam Clerk, will you go on to a reading of the fifth and final public hearing of the evening?
final public hearing regarding a license application for keeping a stand in a public place at 25 South Main Street, which is a senior center, from the Attleboro Garden Club, care of 24 Handy Street, to sell holiday wreaths and decorations on November 22nd, 2025.
Do we have anyone to speak in favor? Do we have anyone to speak against? Do we have anyone to speak neither for nor against? Seeing none, Councilor Lavoy, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
I do not.
I declare that public hearing closed. I would now entertain a motion to enter into committee of the whole.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Roll call, Mr. President, roll
Oh,
call.
that's right, because,
Yeah.
yep, this will be a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Cobus.
Thank you. Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Foa?
Yes.
Mr. Lavoy?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes. We are now operating in committee of the whole. If anyone has any business they would wish to bring in front of the council, please approach the podium. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to arise.
Second.
Thank you. We'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Mr. Tavares.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Lavoy?
Yes.
Ms. Foa?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. We will now go on to a reading of the mayor's communication.
July 15th, 2025. Dear Municipal Council, for your information, I am pleased to inform you that Health Officer Dr. Christopher Quinn has appointed Sherry Miller-Bedeau as the Director of Public Health/Health Agent.
That is an FYI to all councilors.
I respectfully submit a communication from Chief of Police Kyle P. Hegney regarding the anticipated receipt of the fiscal year 26 911 training grant from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, which is known as EOPS, in the amount of $278,737.71. Monies from this grant must be expended no later than June 30th, 2026. Please note that this grant follows reimbursement protocol and there is no matching requirement. In accordance with Chapter 1, Section 12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body approve expending of such funds and any future grant amendments.
Public Safety and Emergency Management, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Veteran Services Director Ben Quell regarding the donation of a gift certificate for plumbing services in the amount of $200 and a gift certificate for barbershop services in the amount of $50 from Amanda and Araya Lavoy of Attleboro. In accordance with Section 1-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body accept these generous donations to the City of Attleboro.
Human Resources and Veterans Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Council on Aging Director Kelly Lee regarding the filing of disclosure of financial interest by special municipal employee form for the following part-time city employee who seeks to participate in the senior tax abatement program. Irma Zapides. Therefore, in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 268A, Section 20C and 20D, I hereby request your honorable body approve this exemption regarding the financial interest identified by this special municipal employee, such that the employee may participate in the senior tax abatement program. The completed and approved form will be filed with the city clerk.
Special Committee on Senior Tax Abatement, please.
On June 24th, 2025, your honorable body voted to amend Section 6-4.3 of the revised ordinances pertaining to ambulance service charges. Although the memo from Fire Chief LaChance had the correct rates, the ALS2 emergency rate included in the mayor's communication request was incorrect. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body amend Section 6-4.3 of the revised ordinances as follows. Strike and replace the current ALS2 emergency rate of $2,492.35 with $3,834.97.
Public Safety and Emergency Management, please.
I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of Cynthia O'Connell to fill an expired term as an alternate member in the Historical Commission, term to expire February 2028.
Human Resources and Veterans Committee, please.
I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of Rachel Benavides to fill an expired term on the Sustainability Commission, term to expire February 2028.
Human Resources and Veterans Committee, please.
As you know, over the course of the past year, the city engaged in a competitive bidding process for a new solid waste contract. That process was followed by robust and recently concluded negotiations with the selected bidder. Accordingly, I am pleased to inform you that the city has signed a new 5-year contract with Waste Management for the collection and disposal of curbside trash and recycling. In the collection and disposal of trash and recycling from public buildings, including schools and municipal parks and recreation areas. For your convenience, Solid Waste Manager Cheryl Perry has provided the overview below of the 5-year pricing for these services and a few new program changes of note.
We'll leave the rest of that reading where all the council has the full memo. That'll go to Finance, and Councilor Kovas, I'd wish for you to read that into the record at that time.
Sounds good.
Thank you, sir. So, Finance Committee.
I respectfully submit a communication from Fire Chief Scott T. LaChantre requesting a transfer of funds related to uniform payments. The current process requires employees to submit reimbursement requests for the purchase of authorized uniform items. With approximately 100 firefighters submitting these requests, the administrative oversight is a complicated, time-consuming process. With the modified procedure, the city will issue a check in the amount of $325 to each firefighter covered by the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Attleboro and the Professional Firefighters of Attleboro Local 848. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $31,850 from the fire uniforms account to the fire clothing allowance account.
Public Safety and Emergency Management, please.
As you know, the City of Attleboro is fortunate to have a number of long-term, high-caliber professionals who diligently administer their duties and manage their respective departments to ensure the consistent, effective, and efficient daily operations of the city. Yet, with anticipated requirements locally, an aging workforce nationally, and shifting attitudes about work-life balance in general, the need for improved resilience and succession planning in our city government is paramount. Undoubtedly, AI and other new technologies will continue to improve and advance our internal processes and mitigate some of these issues over time. But government technology often lags well behind other sectors, and city functions and services cannot be paused while we wait for these changes. We must be proactive in our planning to bridge the gap between now and the future to ensure our continued ability to meet community needs. Succession planning and improving resilience in government entails two important components. One, a staffing plan and training programs that comprehend the need to preserve institutionalized knowledge and expertise by facilitating the transfer of valuable knowledge and skills from current department supervisors to their second in command. Two, a competitive and up-to-date classification and compensation plan and professional development and leadership development opportunities that work to attract and retain talented professionals who are ready to respond to evolving challenges and assume supervisory positions as they become available. Although most city departments have an organizational structure that consists of a director, superintendent, chief, and assistant director, assistant superintendent, deputy chief, there are a couple of departments in which there is no second in command and no clear path that provides operational continuity and organizational stability. Moreover, while the city's new classification and compensation plan and performance-based salary increases for non-represented employees will go a long way to improving our resiliency and helping us attract and retain high-caliber employees, there are 3 new positions and 1 restored position that are also needed. In particular, these positions are 1, Assistant Director of Planning and Development, which is new, Assistant Director of Budget Administration, which is new, Information Systems Technician, which is new, and the Chief of Staff for the Mayor's Office is renamed. But for the Information Systems Technician position, funding for the other 3 positions is a separate and ongoing matter that will be thoroughly evaluated before any funds will be requested from the Municipal Council. As we plan for said funding, we seek now only to add these 3 new positions to the classification and compensation plan, but said positions will not be posted unless and until funding is approved. In regard to the information systems technician, due to a vacancy in the MIS department, funds are currently available to hire for this position. If this new position is approved, we intend to promptly post and fill the position of information systems technician. For the foreseeable future, we believe it is in best interest of the MIS department and city staff the higher skilled and qualified position of information system technician within the organizational structure of the department. We will leave the existing entry-level computer programmer position in the classification and compensation plans should that position be needed again at some point. Lastly, please know that although the chief of staff position is new in name, the appointed position of assistant to the mayor has long been in the ordinances and was staffed for many years under prior administrations. Because the position has been vacant for several years, it was not included in the recent classification and compensation study. This request is fundamentally to be renamed and reestablish the position. Accordingly, I respectfully request your honorable body amend the following sections of the revised ordinances of the city of Attleboro as indicated below. Amend section 13-3 classification plan and 13-4 compensation plan by adding the following positions: Assistant Director of Planning and Development, Assistant Director of Budget and Administration, Information Systems Technician, Chief of Staff. Amend section 2-1.3 Assistant to the Mayor by striking the entire section and replacing with the following: 2-1.3 Chief of Staff. There is hereby established within the Mayor's Department the position of Chief of Staff. The Mayor shall appoint the Chief of Staff, subject to confirmation by the Municipal Council. The term of the Chief of Staff shall expire 1 year after the first Tuesday following the first Monday in January in odd number years. The Chief of Staff shall possess at least a bachelor's degree in business administration, public relations, public administration, finance, accounting, operations, or a similar related field, and shall be particularly fitted by education, training, and experience to perform the duties of that office. The Chief of Staff shall receive such salary as the Mayor and the Municipal Council shall from time to time determine. The Chief of Staff, under the general supervision and control of the Mayor, shall A, provide assistance to the Mayor as requested in liaison with state, federal, and other municipal officials concerning city business. B, confer with department heads and other officials in assembling data requested by the Mayor and assist in the communication and distribution of such data. C, provide assistance to the Mayor as requested in liaison with municipal council and any other boards and commissions associated with the city. D, provide assistance to the Mayor as requested in providing government services to the public, addressing citizens' concerns, and resolving citizens' complaints. E, provide assistance to the Mayor as requested in development of city policy and goals and coordinating or directing special projects. F, oversee the administration and operations of the office of the Mayor with supervisory responsibility for mayoral administrative staff. And G, assist the Mayor in such tasks as may be assigned from time to time. Phew, that was a lot.
That was a lot, but well done. That'll go to the Special Committee on Classification and Compensation. Councilor Angelo, would you like to call for a public hearing on September 16th?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. We'll have a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Cobus.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Fuller?
Yes.
Mr. Lavoy?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
One second. Ooh. Okay. I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Wastewater Thomas Hayes regarding the need for funds to pay a fiscal year 25 invoice for delivery of crushed stone received on June 30th, 2025. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $2,140.78 from the Wastewater Enterprise Fund Reserve Fund for transfer account to the Wastewater Enterprise Fund previous year's bills account.
Public Works Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Wastewater Thomas Hayes regarding the need for funds to pay a fiscal year 25 invoice for a part to repair PC2 that was not included in the original quote. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $476.12 from the Wastewater Enterprise Fund Reserve Fund for transfer account to the Wastewater Enterprise Fund previous year's bills account.
Thank you. That'll go to Public Works, please.
Sincerely, Kathleen D. Simone, Mayor.
Thank you very much. We'll now go on to a reading of the clerk's communication.
All right. We have received from the Friends of Capron Park Zoo an application to waive Section 11-15.1 to serve alcoholic beverages or wine on city property on September 28th, 2025, from 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Capron Park Zoo.
That'll go to the License Committee, please. And Councilor Lavoy, would you like to call for a public hearing on August 19th?
I would.
Second.
Second, thank you. Motion is in order. This will be a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Tavares.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Lavoy?
Yes.
Ms. Foa?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
We have received a disclosure of financial interest form request for approval from City Auditor Deborah Gould.
Ordinances, elections, and legislative matters, please.
We have received a certificate of vote from the Planning Board informing us that the majority of Planning Board voted in favor to recommend to the Municipal Council to adopt the proposed amendment to Section 17-10.15 marijuana business uses of the zoning ordinance.
It's an FYI and copies to all councilors, please.
We have received a certificate of vote from the Planning Board that the Planning Board voted unanimously in favor to recommend to the Municipal Council to amend zoning ordinance, specifically Section 17-3.5, Table of Accessory Use Regulations, Section 17-4.5.2, Accessory Dwelling Units General Standards, and Section 17-11.2, Definitions of the zoning ordinance by adopting the language relative to detached accessory dwelling units.
It's an FYI and copy to all councilors, please.
That concludes all communications for this evening.
Thank you. Nice job, Madam Clerk. Before we go into committee reports, where we'll be starting with Councilor Cobus, I am calling for committee meetings for all committees for Thursday night, where we will be meeting again, and then after that, we won't be meeting until third week in August. So, that being said, we will recognize Councilor Cobus.
Thank you, President Delicio. Reporting for the Finance Committee. From the docket of June 3rd, 2025, I move to approve the following resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a tax increment exemption agreement between the city and 41 South Main Street LLC, Paragon Investment LLC.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
Yes. So, first of all, just to reiterate the comments from a couple weeks ago, this tax increment exemption is over a 15-year period to exempt the builder on the increment in the property value as it increases after they built this new building. And it will basically exempt them over the 15-year period for $1.4 million. But the city will receive an additional $1 million that they otherwise would not have received. But what the builder is really interested in by receiving this tie from the city, what the builder actually gets is they then qualify for the HDIP, the Housing Development Incentive Program from the state, which allows them to get a $2.5 million value investment from the state that would otherwise go to another gateway city. And that's a one-time investment from the state for this building, to build this $12 million apartment building here in Attleboro. And that's the investment that the builder is really interested in, not necessarily this, the $1.4 million over 15 years. They're mainly interested in the 2.5 million. And without the tie, they don't get the 2.5 million dollars, and then the project just doesn't happen. And then it potentially stays a parking lot, or who knows what happens. But without the tie, the $2.5 million HDIP, they cannot qualify for the HDIP, and that's just the rules that the state sets forward. That's the rules for the HDIP program set by the Commonwealth. And the other thing that I want to mention is everyone's received emails from both the city assessor and the city's economic development director supporting this. The assessor looked at the arguments set forward and presented to us earlier, and looked into some of the arguments that maybe we could put a lien on the property and try to claw back the money that was deferred after the sale of the property. You know, if the builder were to sell build the property and then sell the property, that maybe we could sort of put a lien on the property and claw back some of the deferred taxes. The assessor said that that's not an option for us. She looked into those options and wrote to us that those options were not an option. And all of this has been thoroughly reviewed and is supported by the administration and aligns with the city's sort of overall plan for development downtown. So with that, I remain supportive of this. I've thought about it over the last couple of weeks, and I think it is the right thing to do. So that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Do we have any additional questions, comments, concerns? Councilor Sawyer, then Councilor Angelo.
There's been a lot of talk about when we've been going through all of this on parking, because there's less parking that people are going to be allowed to have of those units that they're creating. They're going to have half of the amount of 21 parking spaces. And I know that there's been also discussion about where that parking might be for people, other people who aren't going to get the parking underneath. And so I don't know if there was any other conversation or planning on where that parking could be for people.
Are you asking that to Councilor Cobus?
Yes. I don't know if that was anything that you had
Councilor
information
Cobus,
on.
I don't know if you have additional information on that or not.
I can bring that up. But actually, Councilor Angelo, do you have additional information on that?
I have some. So I learned today.
One moment.
Sorry.
Oh, yep.
Floor recognized Councilor Angelo.
Thank you, President Seal. So I learned today that the Shine program is going to be ending in a couple of months. So that's going to alleviate some parking. So right now, Shine is handled, and we get residents from out of city, other towns, local towns. So that's going to be alleviating some parking. So the building is going to be 2 years before the building gets built, but the Shine is going to end in 2 months. So then that's going to alleviate some parking.
Councilor Cobus?
And then further, from the economic development director, the developer has reached out to the MBTA in the email that he sent out to all of us. The developers reached out to the MBTA seeking to lease those additional spaces and bring the development up to 1 space per unit. So they are working to bring it up to 1 space per unit. That is being reviewed by the ZBA. It is within the purview of the ZBA, and that's not within our purview necessarily to review that. And the ZBA does have the authority to require that the developer prove that they have secured that capacity before approving that project to be built. So that's well within the purview of the ZBA.
Can I respond to that?
Councilor Sawyer?
Sorry, question. I understand that was something that was happening with the MBTA lot. And I also did hear from somebody saying that lot's always full. So it'd be hard for people who are going into Boston, using the train, and they sometimes will park on Riverbank Road, which, you know, they can also get parking tickets on. So, I mean, that lot's also full, making it harder for people even using the train. I'm just bringing that up as another issue for parking as well.
Councilor Lavoy. Thank you, President Delicio. I guess I'm just curious if there's a plan to expand the MBTA lot, because every time I go through there, it's full, and every time we build a building downtown, we talk about how we can put people there to park. Again, I'll go back to it a million times, I guess, is when I lived at 1 Wall Street, if I left after 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and I got back before 5:30, I knew I was walking a half a mile to get to my apartment, because I had to park. If I got a spot in that lot, I was at the very end by the gate. So I don't see how they're going to put 26 cars in here. I mean, 1 Wall Street alone probably puts 50 to 100 cars in that lot as it is overnight. And you can drive by and take a look. Go there at 1 a.m., plenty of cars and trucks in the parking lot. So I still don't support this. We were told, you know, we might get some answer on parking, and all we got was the same thing we get every time. Well, we're talking to the MBTA, and that never happens.
Vice President Dolan.
Thank you. So I expressed support for this when we previously spoke about it, and you know, we also have to consider that the entire EDIB board unanimously voted for this, and that's the mayor, the assessor, the treasurer, the planning, economic development director, and I'm sure I'm forgetting others, and I apologize for that. You know, we all just voted to raise water and wastewater rates and trash rates. And we all hate to do it. We all complained about it. We don't want to do that. I mean, we're residents ourselves, so obviously we don't want to do that to the residents. But to leave this money on the table to increase our tax base to help alleviate that, when it comes to tax classification, we'll have less in our pocket for our tax base. And as far as the parking goes, you know, I assume that when the people rent these places, that they're not going to be lied to, that they're going to be told they have one space, they have no spaces, whatever they decide to do. But, you know, this falls in line with the city's Revitalization Act, and, you know, we're bringing more foot traffic, just like we talked about the Union Theater. And, you know, I continue to support this, and I'm not willing to leave all this money and future money for tax revenue for the city on the table. I'm not willing to do that, and I'll fully support this.
Councilor Tavares.
Thank you. I agree with all of those points that Councilor Dolan brought up, and I won't rehash a lot of the comments that I made in committee, but one thing that I wanted to note is in regards to the parking. I understand the challenge with parking. I agree with the long-term challenges that we've had in the city. But we have to remember that this vote that we're taking on is for the tie agreement, not about whether we feel there's sufficient parking or whether the ZBA has done their job or not. As Councilor Kobus mentioned, that's outside of our purview. I mean, for a second, let's look at this project outside of the scope of the tie agreement. If, let's just say, for sake of argument, another developer approached the city and had purchased that subject property and tried to obtain the permits and all the approvals they needed from zoning and planning, they would be subject to the same rules. And so they would be able to put up the same project as long as they comply with the requirements of zoning. They'd be able to do it with the same number of parking spots. So this wouldn't even be a consideration before us. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make is, while parking is related, it's, as Councilor Kobus said, it's not something that we're making an assessment on whether there's sufficient parking or not for that project. That's within the purview of the ZBA, and if another developer were to approach the city through zoning to build on that property, then there's nothing that the council could do unless we change the zoning bylaws. That would be the route to be able to address a situation like that. So I just want to make sure that we're looking at the relevant issues for the tie agreement as opposed to the parking concerns, which, again, those are challenges, those are concerns. I think we have to address those, but I think we have to walk and chew gum at the same time. So That concludes my
Councilman
comments.
Ward.
Thank you, President Delicio. I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think if someone wants to come in and pay the full bill themselves, and by all means, and then they can have their residents give them 1-star reviews and battle the parking fiasco. But I think the difference here is someone's coming in asking the city to subsidize this project by giving them a $1.4 million tax break, and the state to give them a $2.5 million tax break, or however you want to word it. So $3.9 million are going to be given by taxpayer money from local and state level. So I think when it's in front of us to figure out which projects we should be subsidizing, I think we should be able to look at the parking and how residents and businesses will be impacted. I mean, at the end of the day, we're deciding if we're going to give a break that we don't give many developers or many businesses, if any businesses in Attleboro. Moran's put $2 million into a business and got nothing for tax breaks. So, I think when it's before us and we have the power to make the decision, we can look at every option. And if they want to not have a tie and pay for it themselves, and by all means, and they don't have to hear us say no. Thank you.
Vice President Dolan.
Thank you. And just to keep in mind that 2.5 million from the state will go to another community. It'll go to an investment in another community, not ours. And as far as impacts on businesses, it could be a good impact on businesses. They'll have more residents to frequent Moran's or any other restaurant, bank, whatever the case may be, any other business in the city. So that 2.5 million will go to another community to invest in their city and not ours.
Councilor Holmes.
Thank you. So it's to the developer, it's not to the city of Attleboro. This project has happened quite quickly. And to Councilor Boyd's point, we did have an opportunity to say we could have negotiated this. We could have said every apartment needs to have a parking space, and we want to have 3 to 5 parking spaces for the Council on Aging as well. We could have done anything, and instead we just waited for the developer to present us something, and we're just saying okay to it. Now, if you read the study, that parking lot that they're saying that they're going to be able to rent spaces from is at capacity most of the day. It's at capacity, so I don't see how that's even a solution that's on the table. I'm definitely not in favor of this, and speaking to the residents, they do not want this either. So, and that concludes.
Thank you. Additional questions, comments, concerns? Mr. Waterman.
So I was at the meeting with the Council on Aging a couple weeks ago, and they voted 11-0 not to support this project. Perhaps there will be a fewer people coming into the city to go to the SHINE program. Council on Aging fully knew that at the time. And it will have an impact, definitely, on the seniors being able to park downtown. They'll have to walk a distance. And as far as people in the city, I've had a lot of calls. I would say upwards of 50 to 100 calls, every single one against it. And I have to listen to the people in the city too sometimes. And so I will not support this.
Additional questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote beginning with Mr. Kobus.
Mr. Kobus?
Yes.
Ms. Foa?
Yes.
Mr. Lavoy?
No.
Ms. Reynolds?
No.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
No.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
No.
Mr. Waterman?
No.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Delicio?
No.
Five yeas, 6 nays.
Motion fails.
That concludes the business for the Finance Committee. I call for committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Mr. Tavares?
Ordinances, elections and legislative matters has no business this evening. We call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
There is no old business, there is no new business. We will be reconvening on Thursday night for committee. I don't think there's anything time sensitive that needs to be voted out in front of the full council, and we'll meet again as a full council on August 19th, I believe.
Yes, it is August
Yep,
19th.
August 19th. That being said, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you. This will be a roll call vote, beginning with Mr. Tavares.
Oh, silly me. Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Lavoy?
Yes.
Ms. Foa?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
11 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. We were adjourned at 8:15.